Hi kids, this is Louis Fomby, and today I'm going to teach you how to buy a car. Really pretty simple. What you want to do is I'm going to tell you what documents to assemble, and you go into the dealership and say, "Hey, Mr. Salesman, I want to buy a car. What do I qualify for?" Now I'm sure a lot of you are taught, to go online and look for cars and, I want to buy a fucking Camaro or something like that, or some fancy car, or SUV. I do. And I want to go test drive an SUV. That's what I want to do. I want to test drive a car. This is how you buy a car. This is how you go in a car dealership. You're going to go in there and say, I want to buy a car. What do I qualify for, Mr. Salesman? Here's all my documents. Now, let's go over those documents. First, there's a concept I want you to remember. How much money do you make? Where do you live at? Can you prove it? That's what it comes down to. How much money you make? Where do you live at? Can you prove it? Other concepts are, do I have a bank account? Can I prove it? How much money do I have down? These are the four biggies right there. Order of importance will probably be, how much do I have down, followed by where do I work at, and how much money I make. All those go into the pot. So now, let's look at those documents one by one. First one's if you're a W-2 employee, you got a pay stub. Put your name on it, your employee number, and your year to date and how much taxes they take out. Simple. You bring that in, the last one you have or the last two you have, depending on what the lender wants. It's what the lender wants, not what the dealer wants, what the fucking lender wants. And they want what they want, or they're not going to lend you any money to get a car. Simple as that. Okay, so you have that. Your residence. How do you prove where you live at? Well, it's on your driver's license. Should be where your current residence is. And trust me, if you don't have it on there, go get it put the fuck on there. Go to BMV and have them change to your current address. That's all you got to do. You also might need a utility bill coming to your house where you live at in your name. Now, a lot of folks live with their mother and their father and all that kind of stuff right there. So the reason why you have a bank account, because the bank will send a statement to your house saying that you got an account here and we're sending correspondence to your house. Now, hopefully that correspondence doesn't say that you have a NSF, non-sufficient funds, or you overdrawn, some shit like that. That usually doesn't work out too well. And when you do have a bill that you're coming to the dealership to buy, don't have it with a disconnect notice or some shit like that. It's not a good look when the bank's looking to let you borrow tens of thousands of dollars. Just saying. So catch up on all your bills, and then come see guys like me. And we'll be so happy. Because as soon as you say, what do I qualify for? Practice. What do I qualify for? What do I qualify for? What do I qualify for? You'll be amazed at what can happen. It makes everything so much simpler. So much simpler. Instead of looking in the fucking book and trying to figure it out yourself and looking for no money down and the interest rates and all that shit. What do you qualify to buy? You've been bamboozled and hoodwinked by these consumer guide fucking books. They're worthless. Worthless. Just saying. Probably never get work with those fuckers, but I don't care. It doesn't matter. So I'm telling you how you should buy a car. Whether you buy it from me or not. It's how you should do it. So, where do you work at? Can you prove it? How much money do I make? Can you prove it? Where you live at? Can you prove it? Next thing is money down. Kids. You need to have money down. No money down is horse shit. It's not going to happen. Not if you want a car that you have equity in. So whatever car it is, save and get 20% down. You're going to get a done deal then. Get 20% down. Most of you out there looking at this going to have a $15,000 car. So you should put $3,000 down. Just saying. Makes everything else. But, once again, that's determined by the finance director and the bank. Now, here's a simple analogy. If you're going to buy a house and you go to a realtor, I want to ride around looking at houses. Realtor's going to look at you and says, hey, that's cool. Are you pre-approved for how much? I don't know. Realtor's going to go like this. You don't know. You're like, yeah, I don't know. I don't have a pre-approval letter. Well, guess what? I don't know. Well, no, I know that you ain't riding in my car and looking at no houses. So you get your pre-approval letter and come back. So it's the same thing. You don't want to be you don't want to be in the fucking dealership all day. You go in there and ask, what can I get approved for? Give your information to the salesman. He'll enter in the computer, and then he'll go talk to the finance director and the sales manager. It's really a simple process. And they'll come back and say, oh, you can get a car like this, or send the salesman back and says, oh, listen to a car like this. This is what you can afford. Now, one thing they're going to add in there, which you need, is something to protect your car. For instance, you need a service plan. You need wheel and tire protection. You need your key fob protection. You need environmental protection for your inside and outside of your car. You need that. And if you finance, you need gap insurance. That's what you need. Now, if you're not familiar with gap insurance, Google it. I'm not going to explain everything, but you need to Google it. But you need these things. And so how much is that going to be? At least $3,000. That's what it's going to be. If it can be fit into the car. What it does is this right here. It keeps the value of your trade-in at a high level. Whatever you don't use, they'll give it back to you. You pay for it up front, but they give it back to you if you don't use it. If you do need to use it, you got a perfect vehicle, so you won't have to pay anything extra for your car that's broken down, that you can't use. $100 deductible, and you pay $100 and your car gets fixed. What are you thinking about? You gotta have that. It's like buying a house without getting a fucking policy on it. So, that being the case, it's real simple. Let's review. Proof of income, proof of residency, have a bank account, have a current driver's license with the place you live at on that driver's license. A couple other things. If you have bad credit, you're gonna need 6 references. 6. Name, address, phone number. 3 should be relatives or whatever. And banks will differ, but just have the 6 ready. Because they will call them. And they will call your employer. And they will call you to verify the information. There's no need to lie. There's no need to make shit up. And whatever you do, don't use these fucking agencies that say, hey, you can get a car. We'll make up a new driver's license. We'll make up a new social security number card for you. We'll do all that. Because guess what? It doesn't work. Oh, you might think it'll work for a second, and it might work for a couple weeks, but they tell you to bring that fucking car back, and you look like a moron when you bring it back. Or if you try to fool a guy like me with fake documents, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work. You can figure it out, because I'll talk to you and I'll listen to you, and you can't get it past me, period. Or you can try. You can try all day, but it's not going to work. But that's where you buy a car. You're in there, you get it done, 2 hours, you're out. You're out. You're on the street, having fun. You got to know if something happens, it's $100 a fix. You know, you're protected if you hit a pothole. You know that. You know, if something happens, you have gap insurance. Now, you have a car that's worth more money if you go to trade it in. Now, I'm not going to tell you in this video how not to have negative equity. I'm going to tell you how to get a car. Now, if you want to check this off, and I highly recommend this, give me a call or an email. My number here is 614-796-6067. This is anywhere on the earth. And make sure you got the right documents. That's what you need. We don't talk about credit scores and all that because that changes. It all changes. Bankruptcy
rules and Fort Morgan, I had a repossession rules. They change. How long is it gonna take you to have bad credit? How to get out of bad credit? The rules are constantly changing. One thing that doesn't change, people are trying to say, I'll make it easy for you to buy a car. I'll make it easy for you to buy a loan. All you gotta do is do this bullshit program right here where you get your new ID or fucking documents that say that you work here and all that fraudulent shit. Don't do it. Suck it up. Do it now. One thing. If you make less than $2,000, bring your mother, bring your father, bring your cosigner with you. Just saying. And have him bring all his shit. And you'll know if you can't figure out if you make $2,000 a month, well, look at your paycheck and does it say $500 a week? That's $2,000 a month. So your goal is to make $500 a week. That's 50 hours at $10 an hour. So if you make $10 an hour and you work 50 hours, you make $2,000 a month. It's real simple. But now, if you have any questions, because I know you motherfuckers' attention span is about this big, because I know mine is, just call me. 614-796-6067. 614-796-6067. And we will get you together. Now, next video, this is kind of for the W-2 employee. Now, if you don't know what W-2 means, that is a IRS tax form that most employees give you when they deduct shit out of your paycheck. W-2 is the IRS form. And that's what you're classified as a W-2 employee. And you're the easiest to get done. Next video, we'll talk about 1099 guys and self-employed guys, which is kind of the same thing almost. Okay, but this is Louis Fomby, trustee for Old School Equity Holdings, trying to make it easy for you to buy a car. And soon you'll be buying a car from me again. Bitches.